Hello.
Hello. You'll have to excuse us today. I just had the worst coughing fit ever, and I'm probably going to clear my throat like an old man, probably like 20 times throughout the span of this stream. I don't know.
Well, I mean, it went from snowing 2 weeks ago to being over 80 degrees every day this week.
Yeah, my
So
allergies.
sorry about that. Our allergies are terrible.
Yeah, my allergies are so bad. And there probably will be a Friday. Just knowing how my allergies are, we might end up canceling at a Friday.
It's already bad enough. We should have canceled this one, but we had already kind of promised it. We didn't. She wasn't this bad yesterday.
Well, the thing is, it's like I when I wake up, it's worse, and then I get better progressively throughout the day, but then I wake up again and it's bad. So I just haven't had enough time today to like readjust. And everything that I do,
Every time, Naked Cat.
everything that I do, like everything that I eat, everything that I drink, it makes me more congested. But boobs. What? Is that just a thing now? Is that
That's just my thing, I guess.
It's just an ongoing thing. Hello, everyone. Thank you for not canceling, but would have completely understood. Yeah,
it's not good for YouTube analytics either, so we'll try to do it even if we
YouTube
get as sick
makes
as possible.
Yeah. We're prisoners of YouTube. We don't actually exist. We're
on the internet, so we're not real. Clearly.
We're not real. We're just on your screen. Outside of that, none of this really exists. We live in a different dimension than you. So
I mean, for sure.
I mean, we kind of do. Like,
no, not even a little bit. No.
All right, guys. In case you guys did not know already, I've talked about it a little bit.
My hat on. Look at this hair, dog.
Yeah,
look at this crazy hair.
Crazy.
I don't usually let my hair get that long and crappy, but my hair's long and crappy today.
Crazy hair. Anyway, guys, in case you didn't notice in the Facebook group, and if you're not a member of the Facebook group, I don't know why you're not, because that's where all the fun happens. It's linked down below in case you need to join.
Move, Beans.
There you are, Thug Life. There you go.
That's better.
That's better. Now you look like a 12-year-old.
That's all right.
All
I look like Dad.
But anyway, the other announcement that I made this week is that we are doing a 31 Reasons to Dominate Etsy series, where on Instagram, I am sharing your stories in these really beautifully crafted little photos that appear both on my Instagram timeline and in my Instagram stories, featuring reasons submitted to me from the alphas as to why you guys personally want to dominate Etsy, whether it be for your kids, whether it be to shove it in your family's face that you're able to start your own business. I know that there are a lot of people who don't have that family support. So that's what that's all about. If you want to follow me on Instagram to kind of keep an eye on those stories, my username is Starla K Moore, the letter K. Fun fact, my middle name is K-A-Y, but it's just Starla, letter K Moore. In fact, I'm going to type it into the chat. But if you want to join in on that little movement, just post that movement, post your, here we go. Post your Instagram photos with the hashtag 31 Reasons to Dominate Etsy, and that will be located on all of the photos that I share from that series. And we're doing 31 days starting May 1st to May 31st, because if you guys didn't know, on June 1st, Handmade Alpha Academy will finally be launching. So that's going to be super excited. We will have a Q&A designated just for Alpha Academy questions. But up until that point, we probably won't answer too many questions.
Ow, Bubbers, you asshole.
What do you do?
God. Hey, I want to stand on your shoulder. Let me run up your back with my claws. I love that cat. God. He's an asshole sometimes.
The cat loves him so much. I posted the picture of you last night loving on the cat.
He literally just tried to stand on my shoulder. Only made it halfway up my back, and my shirt made him slide. Well, screw that. He hurt me.
He wants you.
Come here.
All right. Definitely would love to hear more stories about those who have no family support. Haven't spoken to my parents in over 3 years because I run my own business. Yeah, Amber, Amber, I need to send you pictures of Toots. But I'm kind of in the same boat when it comes to, I've got my mom, but my mom's like all that I have. So I completely understand. It's like a lot of us, I think that once we reach that point where we're happy, but you have family members who aren't entirely happy with their life and where they are, they think that you should not be as happy as you are, or they think that because they're not happy, you need to also not be happy. So I think that that's one of the really big things that small business owners, once you reach that point where you're just loving what you do, it's almost like your family gets jealous. And thankfully, there are some really great families out there who are 100% supportive. My mom is, my stepdad is, who I hope to someday, we're looking to actually hire him for to help with Handmade Alpha Academy later. But his parents are super supportive. So you just have to, even if it's not blood family, you have to surround yourself with the people who matter and who support you. And for everyone else, I found it best to just
get rid of toxic people.
Get rid of toxic people. Don't feed into it. Just don't, if they message you and try to guilt trip you or make you feel bad, you kind of just have to cut that out.
It's and try like to block if you're overweight and you have that one friend that's always asking you if you want to go out to eat, sometimes you just got to tell them no.
Right. And I mean, it's one of those things that a lot of us will battle with the entire span of our journey as a business owner, because when you do reach, I'm talking from experience, when you do reach that point of sustainability, it doesn't get much better. In fact, I found that it actually sometimes it gets worse, because then they think, oh, well, she's just a prude now. She's just stuck up now because she's got her little successful business and she doesn't have time for us little people.
Crappy. That's one thing we've definitely learned.
Yeah. So it's one of those things where
you
just can't take it too personally and focus on the things that matter. Otherwise, you'll drive yourself crazy thinking about the things that don't. But anyway, guys, for everyone who's joining us for the first time and is wondering why we were kind of rambling on and not talking about Etsy nightmares, for the first 10 minutes before our Q&As, we always kind of hang out, chat. This is our pre-stream party while we wait for everyone to get online. But it looks like we've only got, 2 minutes until we start? Awesome.
This big baby.
And then, of course, that's when Bubber's boy, this is all he wanted.
He is literally a big baby. He is laying up against me. He likes to stick his arm or his head into like my arm or into my elbow and hide his face.
Yeah.
He's a big baby.
We had someone a couple weeks ago say that we didn't deserve to be pet owners or something. And I'm like, do you watch our channel? This
boy is absolutely in love with me. See, he looks angry because he thinks he's tough, but he still wants love.
And it's funny because they'll sit on the floor and fight together, and Bubbers will like run at him aggressively to lunge him, and he will take his hands and push Bubbers away, and Bubbers will fall back onto his side.
And he'll get up and start prowling around like he's going to pounce on me.
Yeah, he acts like a dog. He is more like a dog than
he is. He does not act like a cat. He acts exactly like a dog, other than the jumping up the back when you don't want him to be there kind of thing.
Yeah, he doesn't have that
He's shedding his winter coat right now too, so all over my face.
He's different. He acts different with me than he does with him. He's more gentle with me because he knows that I don't like to roughhouse.
Nah, we kick each other's ass.
Yeah, and those two, they just fight each other on purpose. Like they'll just sit on the ground and wrestle, and he just keeps coming back.
He's all about it. He doesn't like it when I call him an asshole, though.
Yeah, like he's got that name recognized.
Because I always call him that when he attacks me. And now it's to the point where if I call him that, he gets angry. And
it provokes him.
Yeah, it provokes him. He recognizes the noise.
Yeah, he identifies that is the play like word. Like that means it's time to fight.
He understands stop though. Like if I tell him to stop, he stops.
Yeah, he's super smart for a cat. But
anyway, enough about the cat.
We've got 1 minute for those of you who are just joining us. I do want to apologize. I got allergies right now. I'm probably going to rub my nose like crazy, more so than I normally do. And
me too.
I'm going to try not to cough, but I am wheezing really bad. I'm not dying, I promise. I'm not asthmatic. I'm just, allergies are so bad and I'm really congested. So, all right, guys, today we're going to be talking about Etsy stories. And I don't want to sell this off like we've had a lot of bad experiences on Etsy.
Our experiences on Etsy have been almost all positive.
Right. Everybody has their obscure cases with weird customers.
Even with a normal job, you have crappy days.
Right. And most of our stories are more funny than anything. So this isn't meant to scare you or, terrify you, because you have to consider that June 30th will be my 6th year selling on Etsy. So I always say that that I've been selling for 5 years, but it's technically 6. So we've only had a few very rare cases, and a lot of them haven't been Etsy on Etsy as a whole, it's been...
But it involves the business that we run on Etsy.
Right. It involves running the handmade business. But at the end, I would like you guys to also, since we don't have 100 stories to share from our own personal experience, I would also like you guys to share your stories towards the end when we have a free minute. And I will do my best to kind of go over those and tell you if there's like one that you didn't know how to deal with. I can kind of, give my own insight on how I might have handled it, or some suggestions to deal with harsh, crazy customers like that, because everyone gets them. We all get crazy customers. And last night we were like racking our brain trying to think of some of the worst customers, but considering that I've never had a bad review, I think the lowest I've gotten is 4 stars, because sometimes you just have those. Oh, let us know if our stream stops.
This still says live, but our video stopped.
Well, let us know.
We'll give it a second.
Yeah, let us know if we lag. But anyway, it's almost like we had to really rack our brains to even think of anything, because most of our reviews have been positive. So he's making sure that we're not down. We're not down, are we? You can see us, right?
We're lagging pretty hard.
Let us know if you can see us. He's doing all his...
Looks like we're good now. I'm going to leave this up. We've got some latency. We're not down, but we've got some real bad latency. So I'm going to leave that up down there.
Okay. Well, just let us...
I've always called my son that. Just told him about your kid. He said, I don't want to have a cat's name.
His name isn't actually Bubbers.
No, his name is Goober.
His name is technically Goober.
I just call him Bubbers.
Our cat Toodles, her name isn't Toodles either. It's Tulip. But we give all of our animals a second name. Anyway, guys, let's talk about... Okay, everyone says that they can see us. All right, let's talk about some of my... Hi, Bubbers. Let's talk about some of our personal Etsy stories and some of the things that have happened during our span of selling. So the first thing that I want to talk about, and it's something that most of us as sellers deal with at some point, especially if you're extremely creative or you create something original, it's the copycats. And let me tell you, this used to bother me a lot more than it does now, because right now I have hundreds of competitors and some of them replicate my product 100%, but they don't have as many sales as me. They don't have the reputation that I have. They don't have all the news features that I have, and they don't have the ability to say that they are the highest selling skeleton key necklace on Etsy. Like, I have completely dominated that position. So when I look at those little...
Just go to town back there.
He's back there cleaning himself. They don't have the ability to say that they have, all of those reviews and all of the news features and stuff. So I've been able to kind of let go of my anger when I see people copying me. But in the early days, it really upset me to the point where I would get like really hung up about it. So we
were also in our heyday of the gym days, so we were all swollen out. We were all working out all the time and angry anyway. So
yeah. So the worst one that I had, though, and it goes beyond just someone kind of replicating my designs. This person had been a customer of mine for about a year. This was like my second year of selling, and in the short frame that I'd known her, she had bought hundreds of my keys. For those of you who don't know, I sell skeleton key necklaces. She bought hundreds of them, and we talked frequently, and she complimented me, and I just thought that she was like my biggest fan. I loved her to death. We were really close. But I later found out that she was buying them, and she was buying so many because she was reverse engineering them, finding the suppliers that I was using, and ultimately creating carbon copies of my exact designs, which... that upset me terribly. And she placed I didn't say anything to her at first because she hadn't ordered anything from me for a while. So I was just going to kind of let it go and see what happened. Then she placed an order for I think it was an $80 design, which for most of you who know, my high-end designs sell very fast. They sell almost immediately. So I saw that she bought that, and it really upset me. So what I did was I messaged her and I told her that I was kind of like, I made it clear that I was on to what she was doing. And I said, I think it would be in both of our best interest if, for one, I refunded your order, and for two, if you stopped replicating my designs, because my fans who were also on to her without me even saying anything.
Most of these are people that were our fans or her fans that tipped us off. Like the majority of these things were people tipping us off.
Yeah. And that's exactly how I found out what she was doing. Was I had such raving fans that they were like, hey, you know, one of your Key Club people is doing this. You need to be aware about it. So
we've throughout time had several people that it wasn't uncommon for them to buy a buttload of her products. Like people that just see it and they're like, okay, well, this might be big someday. I'm going to collect all these. And we have a couple people now that do that.
Yeah,
we have one guy in particular who buys one of everything if he can.
But he
wears them. He posts stuff online about him wearing them. Like he's not selling them.
Right.
So we didn't think anything about it.
Right. I just didn't think about it at the time. But I told her that it would be in her best interest to stop because my fans were very aware of what she was doing. And it was getting to the point.
We can't control them.
Right. We can't control when they send her dirty messages calling her a copycat. As much as I told them not to do that, I can't control that. And a bunch of them did. And I even made a statement like on my page, like, if you see and I was very, I didn't say anything like direct. I said, if you ever see anyone copying my designs, please don't act on it. You know, we all have our right to do whatever, blah, blah, blah. If they're not creative enough to think of their own designs, you know, more power to them.
And they're going to be the ones that fail anyway.
Right. And out of curiosity, last night, I went and looked at her shop. I'm not going to say names or anything like that. But out of curiosity, when I thought of this story to bring up, I thought, I wonder how she's doing. So I went and looked at her shop. She's been open since 2012. And she has, I think I said 64 sales.
No, 46.
Oh,
she's been 46. Open since 2014.
Oh, 2014.
Mm-hmm.
It was 24. Okay.
She opened 2 years after you started.
Yeah.
You started in like late 2012.
Right. Okay. That's right.
2012.
So it was just, it just like filled, I mean, it didn't fill my heart with joy that anyone was not doing well, but just to see that it shows you how far those copycats really, really get. So my advice to you guys, when you experience these copycats, now, there is an exception if you create digital art and someone just rips off your digital designs. That's when you should really, really get upset. But when it comes to people just kind of copying like a little bit of your design, or they've run this like really cruddy Etsy shop and it's just small scale, they don't have the professional photos or anything, because that's usually who copies. It's the people who have these really cruddy photos, no branding, no authority, and they just decide that they're going to rip people off.
Somebody said, I hope you have patents for your designs now. No, there's no reason to do that.
No,
you don't have to have a patent to sue somebody if it does enough damage to your business. It's clear if what they're doing. And the thing is we use supplies that anybody can get. So
I say, here's the thing. I see it like this. We use supplies that anyone can get their hands on, and accidents happen. I've had people contact me to say, hey, I created a design that looks very similar to yours, and I just wanted you to be aware that I didn't realize I did this. Because there are only, when you buy in bulk, there are only so many suppliers that create certain, skeleton keys. I do not get upset when someone decides that they're going to make keys. In fact, I have a competitor, and I wouldn't even call
competition's good.
Competition is healthy. I have a competitor. Her shop is called Mythical Folk, and her keys are beautiful. I love the way that she does her branding. We use identical supplies, but the way that she uses them, if you want to look her up on Etsy, I think her Etsy shop is just Mythical Folk. She uses her keys so much differently than I do, and I embrace that. And I've advertised her because I love how she has thought outside the box. So honestly, competition does not bother me that much because, these little guys are trying their hardest, but I know that because they're copying the best of the best. It's like if someone were to go to Tiffany & Co. and rip off all of their designs, would they ever be better? Would anyone ever see them as better than Tiffany & Co.? Probably not.
They'd have to work their butt off to get bigger than that.
Right. And if someone were to be able to rise above me, they were able to surpass my 6 years of constant growth, marketing, the news features, all the reviews. If they were,
it's our fault.
Then it's our fault, right? That's indication to us. So
that
no,
we're not trying and we're not keeping up with the current way that things work.
Right.
That's just like yesterday. I was telling her I wrote a new guitar riff sat and played it to myself like 5 times and then realized it was just a lower pitched version of the intro for Down with the Sickness by Disturbed.
Yeah.
And I don't even like Disturbed.
In many instances, customers will take my designs to other sellers and ask them to replicate. Those sellers then use that to resell in their shop after. Then I would just contact those sellers, and if the sellers
this is mine.
Yeah, and you can, as long as you have proof, like, you know, the date that you started selling that design versus when they started, Etsy will side with you. So if they get really mad at you, you could always, you know, contact Etsy. But that was our worst case, that lady. And obviously she has not gone very far with her lack of personal creativity. So, you know, more power to her if she's listening right now. I doubt it. But anyway, I hope that she enjoys my Etsy advice. The second one is more of an off Etsy, but more of a promotional, like a marketing type nightmare. And this came when I was in my first and second year of business, and I was picked up by a crafting group that shared the work of pagan artists. And I'm not pagan, but because I realized that I had a huge pagan audience, I started catering to them more. And I got really popular in the pagan community, which was, you know, really great because I loved that niche. I loved making all of the really whimsical products that they enjoyed most, the fairies and the dragons. And that's actually kind of what shaped my brand into what it is today. However, what kind of happened was I was in this Facebook group with all of these pagan artists, and we supported each other. And it was a lot like the Handmade Alphas, where everyone helped each other and promoted each other. But it was all
one of the things that really made her business take off.
Right. And it was all led by a Facebook page that shared our work. And it's like anytime we needed a sale, anytime we were like, hey, you know, I've got bills due, will you share me? They had over 300,000 fans, and they would say, sure, you know, we'll share you. And they'd share us with the shop link. And right when they shared me, I would make like $200 to $300 in like a minute that day, right when they'd share it. So they had a big authority back before pages had to pay for advertising. This was like newbie, you know, way back before Facebook had post boosting and paid ads. So basically everyone who liked their page saw their content. It was a lot different back then. But anyway, that's how I got big to begin with. That's how I got like my first, I would say, 200 to 300 sales, which doesn't seem like a lot because now I have over 6,000. But, you know, in the beginning, you can imagine getting 200 to 300 sales within a few months. It's really exciting. And I thought that I had struck gold, and I did like everything for these people. I sent them free products. I mean, I'll be honest, I kissed their ass. I did everything that they wanted me to do. I shared other pages rather than just my own brand. I was sharing other artists just to kind of like give back. But
the art of the deal.
The art of the deal. But what happened was I decided that I was going to create a crafting group for people who lived on my military base, because for any of our military spouses, you might know that there are always people who are trying to sell things on a military base. I thought it'd be cool to make a little community where everybody on my military base could, you know, talk about crafting and local events and stuff. But I think it was called the Top Secret Crafty Biz Club. And it got really big. We had a lot of members, and some people were friends like that I had met that didn't live on my base. But what ended up happening was the people of this bigger group found out that I had my own group, and they got really mad. They said, we heard about your little secret group, and they just got really, they said that it hurt their feelings and all of this. And I messaged them back.
Chew on somebody's milk dud. Who cares?
I messaged them back and I said, whoa. You know, this was for my people on my military base. It has nothing to do with you. And then they said, well, I just wish you would have asked us first. I said, I don't need your permission to create a group.
By the way, military spouses a lot of the times are way up their own ass.
But
they're way more privileged.
This wasn't a military.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the military group.
No.
Sorry, I was spacey there.
No. This group right here that's written on the paper that I won't say out loud.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So what,
I thought you were referring to the one because we had something similar happen when we were on Beal with the local crafting group.
That's right. No, this is the one that I created. But anyway, so what ultimately ended up happening was they booted me out of the group completely. shamed me in front of everyone. They called me out publicly on their Facebook page of over 300,000 people, talked about traitors and all of this. And of course, there were just people in the comments who had no idea of what the backstory was. They were commenting, you know, how dare someone take for granted what you've done for them? And how dare someone try to, you know, steal what you've given to them and blah, blah, blah. And in reality, it had nothing to do with their group, but the person who ran the group said that I was being so defensive that, you know, it was evidence. She said, don't even go there, Starla. And I cried.
Yeah, it went down a road where it wasn't just us either. Like after that happened, you could tell that something, because it was two people. It was a husband and wife, I believe, yes. Right? And then one of their friends, and they all ran their own little like religious group. But the guy, like, you could tell he was going insane. Like, he legitimately seemed like he just out of nowhere had some sort of like psychosis. Like, he went nuts. The things he were posting were all angry and crazy. Like, he just went nuts, and everybody else in the group just kind of followed suit.
Right.
And the group just kind of went downhill from there. It was really weird.
Yeah.
It was like somebody who just kind of snaps. He legitimately just snapped.
Yeah. So
he went insane.
I'm now in hindsight, I'm really glad that, I mean, I wish that I could have left willingly without them bashing me publicly. But this kind of goes to show that even when something detrimental, like a page with 300,000 fans sharing my page, which at the time only had 6,000 likes. I now have like 25,000, but at the time I only had 6,000 Facebook likes. I was still able to overcome them publicly bashing me and calling me out in front of all of those people. And now it's to the point where no one really even talks about their little club anymore, or their little page. I checked that out yesterday too as well. And their page is still active and they're still sharing artists, but it's nowhere near like what it used to be. So that just kind of goes to show that, yes, people are going to tear you down. And there are some people who literally have no freaking sense. People who think that, you know, that because they've given you something cool, or they've helped you, or they've shared you, or if they've done something nice, or maybe they've told you about a supplier, they think
they made you.
Right. They think they made you, and they think that you owe it to them, when in reality, this is your business. So don't ever under any circumstance let anyone, whether that be a promoter, whether that be a customer, don't ever let someone think that you owe them anything, because it's your work. It's your designs. You made this. And when it comes to people like that, even if it's like a public figure or a blogger or something, if they talk crap about you,
or a parent, yeah, for sure.
Or a parent, right? If they say something bad about you, the best thing to do is just ignore it. If people comment on your page, just delete it, because eventually it'll all pass. Everything will blow over and you can carry on as normal. Because if people like your work enough, it doesn't matter what everyone else says. What's going to matter is the way that you act and what they can see. You don't judge someone based on what everyone else says about them. The right type of person, a genuine person, will judge you based on what they see. So if the way that you're acting is the polar opposite than what someone is saying about you, and that might be through reviews, that might just be people bashing you on social media, your character will stand out a lot more than what people are just kind of saying about you. And I had to learn that the hard way. I cried for days and days and days. He told me, it was to the point where he told me that I just needed to suck it up and stop, because I was crying so much. I was letting it bother me so much because I was getting so much hate mail out of it.
Sometimes you got to get a little bit of tough love.
Yeah, but
sometimes all you need is a good little shut up, get moving.
Amber Marie, I gave you this talent. Yeah, that's hard, especially when it comes to parents. So, Bubbers, quit tearing up the couch. No one's paying attention to him, so now he's going to destroy everything. All right, so the next big horror story, probably one of my very, very favorites, in terms of customers, is I had a lady place a custom order from me, and it was a very extravagant order. It was like she had pictures that she'd drawn, and she had like all these ridiculous requests and demands. And I said, okay, unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to do this exactly how you want because it would be impossible to replicate your sketch. However, I can make something very close to it. And I said, if that's okay, we can follow through with the custom order. You just have to be, understanding that I have to kind of create this in my own way, because what's on paper isn't always what I can, make. So she was totally fine with it. We went over her pricing and everything like that. It was for her son, I believe. But anyway, I created the key, and it turned out like way better than I expected. And I sent her the photos and she was just so happy with it. She loved it. She was ready to pay for it. And I sent her the invoice, and it took her a couple days. It's like she didn't pay it right away. And I thought, well, there's got to be something wrong. Maybe she didn't get my message. So I messaged her again and I said, hey, I just wanted to let you know that I sent your invoice on this day. And I just wanted to remind you because I want to ship your order out to you as quickly as possible so you can get it to your son. And she messaged me back. She's like, well, I was just a little taken aback by the price. I said, okay, we already talked about the price. I went over everything with you, and I went over everything like the shipping and all of that. She's like, well, the thing is, I thought that was like a max price, and I was thinking that it was going to be priced more alongside the products that are in your shop. I said, well, the products in my shop are at their current prices because I ordered those supplies in bulk. But your custom piece, I had to order each component one by one, which makes it dramatically more expensive on my end. Like who the heck thinks that they're going to get a completely custom product
for the same price as one of your mass-produced products?
Right. Like it was just
like, I'm going to order all your stuff and then take the 10 hours to figure out how to put it together right. And then I'll give you $15. $15. Yeah.
And then it dawned on me that she thought that she was going to be able to haggle me after I already had it made. But in reality, no. But in reality, my keys sell in seconds. So I told her, I said, well, I apologize. I can hold it up to like 2 weeks for you if you would like to pay for it later. Otherwise, I'm going to add it into my shop to sell to someone else, because it wasn't something completely custom. It was like a dragon with green crystals, which anyone could enjoy that. So she pretty much told me that she just didn't have the money for it and that she would have to pass. I said, okay, whatever. So I listed that key in my shop and I charged more for it. I actually hiked the price up because it was a really pretty design, and it ended up selling for like, I think her commission charge was $55, and I ended up selling it for, I believe, $65. And it sold within like a day. So that's another one of those cases where those customers, you've got the ones who think that they're being sly. They think they're being slick. They think that they're going
Those people think they're smarter than they are.
Or they
really do.
Or they assume that you're stupid and that they're smarter than you. But usually when you get a hunch like that, it's almost always correct. The best thing to do in that case, I usually try to give my customers the benefit of the doubt, and give them a solution.
Because sometimes they're just stupid. You got to consider that. Like sometimes people are just dumb and they're not trying to haggle you. They're just freaking stupid.
They're just not getting it.
Like,
it's not.
No, they're stupid.
They just don't get it.
Of all the people that we've had, what, 4,000 some odd sales?
Over 6,000.
6,000, whatever. Some of those people were stupid. That's just how the world works. They're good customers. They're just not smart people.
Right. But I don't know. It's
some of them.
So it's good to try to offer. I try to offer two solutions. If I can think of two, which I did, I told her I can either hold it for you, or if you don't want it, I would be happy to list it back in my shop. And ultimately she decided to pass on it. So I gave her two solutions to choose from. That way she could feel a little bit of control over the situation and choose which path that she wanted to go down. But now, obviously, I've changed things a bit. I require a deposit. And right now I don't even accept custom orders.
No, right now, no. We have been doing, that's fine. We've had people like that quite a bit.
Yeah.
In the past. And now we do it where, you know, the only reason we ask for the deposit is that we have the money to cover the supplies.
Right.
Because sometimes a custom order is very custom to the point where it's not something that we can really put in the shop. It's not something that like a normal person is going to want to buy.
Right. Especially, you know, there are some, I can't really think of any occasions when someone wanted something super custom. We've
some
had
very adult things that we wouldn't be able to list in the shop.
We'll talk about that later. If you guys are,
we've had several.
You guys are right. Yeah, we'll only be talking about one, because it's just so funny. But yeah, there is some funny stuff coming up about a really inappropriate order that we received. But the next one, a lot of you might know about this if you're in your or in my key club. It actually happened last year. I had a video game.
No, it wasn't boobs, Naked Cat.
I had a video game. It was worse than boobs, actually. I had a video game that ripped off one of my keys, one of my designs, like carbon copy exact key in their video game as an item. And one of my customers let me know. She's like, "Oh, Starla, I just wanted to tell you that this game featured one of your keys." And I was like, "Oh, that's cool.
We didn't know about that.
Can I have their what's the name of the game? Can I have their contact information?" I still have screenshots from the game posted in my key club. I should post those in the Handmade Alpha group. But anyway, so I contacted the game developers. I can't even remember what the name of the game was offhand. It was one of those picture find games, you know, where you have to find, where you had to find the things in the pictures. And one of the items that you found was a key. But anyway, I can't remember the name offhand. I'd have to look it up.
It's a series of like a fuck ton of games.
Yeah, it's
a shit ton, sorry.
Stop saying wordy dirds. It upsets people, remember? We got hate mail about it.
Oh.
Anyway.
Gargle my nargle. Anyway,
it's
a long series of games.
It's like a series of games. And I contacted the developers. I sent them a big long email about it. And I said, "Hey, I really appreciate you featuring my keys. However, I didn't get any credit at all." Witch's Legacy. Yes, there it is. Thank you, Amber. Witch's Legacy. I pointed out to them that they did not have any permission to use my designs. And I told them I was totally fine. I said, "I'm totally fine with you using my designs. I would absolutely love..."
The city that isn't there. Yeah.
Yes, that one. I absolutely love, you know, shouting out people who want to represent my fantasy keys and stuff. I love that. I will shout out your game. I will promote your game. I will talk well about your game. I just want credit. And the developer got back with me and said, "Wow, Starla, that's very unsettling because the artist who designed our game actually doesn't have, we had no idea that they were doing that. I just wanted to let you know that we'll be adding your credits for you into our game for this particular version. However, when we update the game, we're going to be removing the item altogether, since we're pretty upset with our developer for even doing that." And it's like, I was happy about that, but I wish that they would have just left the item in there, because that would have been really cool for me to say. I was actually kind of upset that they wouldn't work with me, because I would have loved to have, you know, said "as featured in this video game," you know. But I don't know. It was just a really weird thing. It was like the weirdest thing that possibly could have happened, with just someone, some artist deciding to steal one of my designs and put it into a video game. It was really cool. Ooh, and I'm glad that I have screenshots.
Scratch up my desk. She complains about how much damage is done on my desk, and it's almost all her.
Because you have like stone.
I think that's a pretty friggin' cool.
Isn't that cool? It's shaped like a pumpkin. It was not this.
It was unintentional. It doesn't look as much like a pumpkin from the front.
The agate, it's like pumpkin shaped, but we use it as a coaster. Anyway,
it's a good coaster because it doesn't condensate on the bottom very much. It does a little bit, but that's only because she left a giant ice cold drink on it and never moved it.
But anyway, so let's see. And then, all right, so let's talk about my biggest. Oh yeah, Artsy Pumpkin. She uses like blue pumpkins in her logo. My biggest event, and a lot of you, if you've been following me for a long time, you probably know about this, because this was like my biggest competitor, and I talk about them frequently, only because they're not in business anymore. But my biggest competitor a few years back, I started obviously making my keys. There's a lot of people who make.
This was probably in 2014.
Nah,
2015.
2013. It was
2013?
early.
Oh yeah, it was
stages.
early on. It was before we were big enough to really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is like my big story. Like this is my biggest horror story ever. They had been selling for 10 years and I came along also making keys. And at the time there were a lot of us. Well, there's still a lot of us who make keys. And because I was the one out of all the other key creators who was getting big, they took it upon themselves to send their fans like to sick them. You know, they sent their fans on me to say that I was copying their designs, but no two designs of ours look the same. I never copied.
Not even close.
Not even close. In fact, my fans and their fans could tell the difference between whose keys were what. And I mean, there are supplies that are readily available, but they messaged me and said, all of our designs are copyright. And
like for one, no, they're not, because that's not how physical products work. It's a trademark, not a copyright.
Right. So I ignored them because for one, you can't just, that would be like someone who makes quilts getting mad that someone else.
How expensive it would be for them to go through and trademark every single one of their products.
Right. And I wasn't replicating their products anyway, so it wouldn't have helped them. You can't just say no one can make cheeseburgers anymore because it's McDonald's already makes them.
That's like Ford saying no one else can make cars because they're all similar.
Right. They all have wheels. But anyway, so this company ended up sending all of their fans after me because I did not respond to them because I know that they were lying. You can't get a copyright on a jewelry design. And even if they had, mine wouldn't violate it because my products were not
the same.
We're not the same as theirs. They don't have they can't own skeleton keys. So anyway, I just ignored them. They sent their fans to attack me. I got some of the worst hate mail I've ever received. I got death threats. I got people talking badly about who was at the time my infant daughter, saying awful things about her. I just had people say the most terrible things about me. But on the flip side, a lot of their fans called them out and they said, wow, her designs are nothing like that. And you guys are really immature being a business for like 10 years. You guys are really immature for sending your fans to attack her. You know, you don't own the ability to create this product. It's not like whoever decided to, I don't know, if you create blankets, you wouldn't get mad at someone else for creating a blanket, you know? So what ended up happening ultimately is they got such a backlash from sending their fans to attack me and linking my shop and my Facebook page and stuff that their fans got so mad at them and sent them so much hate mail too that they posted a public apology to me. Like, oh, we're sorry that we said all that stuff. We take it back. And then they asked me to do a collaboration with them to kind of clear the air and show that we were cool.
Like, we know what you're doing.
Yeah, we know what you're doing. But I ended up doing the collaboration with them. I did do it. And I regret it. But now, years later, they actually stopped shipping orders to their customers.
It was like at Christmas time, wasn't it?
Yeah, Christmas time.
I know it was during a holiday.
And it was like several thousand orders that they didn't ship. And then they closed their shop down without shipping those orders. And all of their social media pages blew up and there were like lawsuits involved. It was just such a mess. But that's basically the business that I unintentionally ran out of business. I didn't do it on purpose, but you know, when you treat your customers like poop and then you don't ship products.
I don't feel bad about it. I would have done it intentionally.
What?
They were bad people.
Yeah, they were not.
I don't care. They were terrible. It wasn't even just that they were bad business owners to start off with. They were bad people. So
they were very mean.
Threatened by a company. Like at that point, they had already made more sales than we currently have. Like they had been around for a long time. So to pick on a shop that has less than 500 sales at the time,
right?
Like that's pathetic. That's absolutely pathetic that you're threatened by somebody who has less than 10% of the sales as you at the time, didn't know anything about SEO, didn't know how to advertise right, didn't know how to do any of the stuff that we're teaching you guys how to do. That
And
we all learned this stuff over time, but they did know how to do all of this crap.
And there were hundreds of people within the niche. You know, it was a relatively, believe it or not, fantasy key creators. If you go to Etsy and type fantasy key or like dragon key, for example, there are a lot of us, like a whole lot of us. And
it's only the few of us that actually know what we're doing and have taken the time to learn what we're doing.
Yeah. So
Echo, you're being kind of weird.
Yeah, it's kind of odd. Manon, if you're feeling weird, let us know if you need an adult.
Yeah, because it's getting a little bit weird.
Yeah, friends are nice, but you're being a little pushy there. Let's try to be nice in the comments. Anyway, so that was my biggest horror story. But what came from that, ultimately, like the good that came from it is now I've taken their position in the marketplace. They disappeared. All of their fans came to me. And what I now do, because I have a lot of their fans who will come to me with a key, and because I'm the only one left that has like that authority, they'll come to me and they'll say, hey, you know, my key from this business name I will not mention, this key from name I will not mention broke or needs a repair. Would you be willing to repair it for me? And what I do is I take their products that are damaged and I fix them. And then I win that. I do it for free, but then I win that customer for life because they didn't do that for their customers. But I'm going back and fixing their customers' keys that they sold to them. And it's now I've like doubled. I would say I've tripled my following actually since they went out of business.
Yeah, for sure.
Because their following all came to me. So it was just a really weird thing to happen. So if you ever get bullied, okay.
I think it's not the place to talk together. Yeah, I agree.
There's weird things going on in the comments. Anyway, so if anyone ever tries to bully you, like an authority figure in your niche, especially if someone messages you and says, hey, you know, you were using a design that I created and you're not aware of it, because sometimes when it comes to like similar supplies and fabrics, it can get confusing. But if you didn't do it intentionally, just apologize, say, I'm so sorry, you know, I didn't even realize it, and do them the service of taking that product down. But if they say that you've like infringed on a copyright that you haven't, when the products don't look anything alike, or for example, if they say something like, hey, I have a copyright on this necklace, which you can't do. Necklaces can't be copyright. Their photos can, their products can't.
They can be trademarked.
Yeah.
Which is not free, so I doubt that they were.
Right. You can usually just be fine ignoring people like that or contacting Etsy directly. I wish I would have contacted Etsy directly when all of that happened to me. Diet said, always take the higher ground and you'll come out ahead, but protect yourself too. Exactly.
Don't be afraid to put your boot up somebody's ass if you have to. Just make sure you do it intelligently.
Right. Don't do it.
Don't just attack somebody with bad words and be aggressive. Like you have to be political about it.
Yeah. Be smart and friendly, but in a very firm way, so they know that you're standing your ground.
When it came to the military, it's like when we would have to stand up. We had some crappy leadership at some point, and I call it the with all due respect boot up the ass, because anytime you say anything to somebody higher up than you, you got to say with all due respect. That way they're not offended. So it's with all due respect boot up the ass. So you just got to make sure that like you can put the foot down, but you got to make sure that they understand that like you're more mature than they are when you do it. I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain. Just make sure you keep it to professional as you can. Sometimes we can let it get out of hand. That's why she's here, because I can't always be professional about it. I'm the kind of guy that'll just like, I don't know, send them a bunch of weird porn pictures.
Like out of anger?
Yeah, out of anger.
I'm like,
I'll just download the grossest stuff I can find and just nail their inbox with it. Or put it in a spam bot.
That's what I do when people send me, like, do you guys ever, is this just me? Do you guys ever get messages on like Instagram or something? Usually if you've got like your face as your profile picture.
The feet thing.
Yeah, like I had a guy send me a really nasty message about wanting to do something to my feet. I won't go into the specifics, just use your imagination.
What's up, chat room? I'm looking for debates.
No.
That are talking about. No.
Not here.
We're not debating. But thank you.
Anyway, but he asked me to do something terrible with my feet, and instead I sent him a picture of these broken, like mangled, twisted toes, like in response. So anytime I get messages like that, I always send like the grossest picture back. It's hilarious. Yes, once a week. Yes, they're so bad. You know what? I'm thinking about someday doing a
compilation.
A compilation.
We'll have to blur a lot of it out because
like
male parts.
I get
dudes are gross.
I get so
I've never been like that. I don't understand. Like I like just sending your
like
sausage
to a business,
to a business, especially a business.
I usually comment back and I say, I'm a business.
It's like just gonna walk into Macy's with my professional photographer pictures of my sausage and just put it on the counter and just stare at the person behind the counter. How's my sausage?
You wouldn't do that in real life. Why do people think that they can do that to a business? So
I love your arm hair. Will you send me some in a jar? Oh God, what the hell?
I had someone send me a message that said, it said something like, feet, feet, feet. I love to be stepped on in big boots. Will you step on me? And I was like, no, that's okay. But anyway, so let's get in. Okay, for everyone who gets offended easily, you should probably leave because I'm bringing up a pretty bad, one of my worst customer experiences. Well, not worse, but hilarious and gross and strange. And this was years ago, and I'm not going to like say any specifics about it, but I had a guy who messaged me and asked me if I could please make him a key with a particular male body part on it. And I didn't respond right away because I was like, do I really want to make this order? Because he offered me like $90 for the order. He like just straight up. It didn't
seem like a joke. It seemed very legitimate.
He was being dead serious. He said that he wanted it to wear to parties. I don't know what kind of party he's going to, but that's what he wanted. No judgment. But I couldn't decide if that was the type of product that I wanted to make for someone. Because then when someone says, wow, that's a cool necklace, where'd you get it? And he's like, oh, I got it at Art by Starla Moore. You should check her out. And then I have like 100 people messaging me, asking me for penis keys.
I had a guy ask for a pair of my undies included with his order for an extra fee.
What?
I mean, people sell those on Craigslist, so it's like whatever.
People do sell their underwear, but I would hope that people wouldn't just message your.
I mean, I would sell my underwear.
Oh, does anyone want to buy his underwear? Because
not cheap.
Yeah, I mean, we could just put like an eBay auction.
Like an eBay auction, yeah. It starts at $5,000 though.
Okay, cool. So gross. Yeah, that's disturbing. That is a reason. Like, if you got that on Etsy, I would just immediately report them to Etsy.
Like, this person wanted my undies.
send their order to them, but then report them like immediately. It's like, I don't even know. Everyone in the comments is like, oh, ew, whoa, ew. Orange is new black style. Yeah. Anyway, so that was like my funniest customer request I've ever gotten. And I did not.
You can keep Mark's undies.
I don't want his undies.
Fun fact, I don't wear them.
Yeah, he doesn't wear undies, so
I'm a healthy boy.
You're a healthy boy. This is weird. I reported and blocked him all over social media.
Good thing. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Here's the thing. There are going to be creepy people in business, and some of those creepy people are going to buy things from you. And that's hard because I've had these you got to consider I started my business when I was 19 years old, and that's obviously going to cause problems to begin with because 90% of my Instagram inbox is people asking me how old I am. And if someone's asking you how old you are, they don't just want to buy products from you. Like, they want to know if you're of legal age for them to harass.
We did get a question.
And it's hard when people, what?
Do you think that Etsy fixed the system to favor shops that have paid listings? I'm not getting views now that I don't pay for promoted listings.
I would have to look more into that for you.
I doubt it.
But I would need to look more. That sounds like some Etsy conspiracy theories. A lot of people say that their sales are down right now, and it's going to be like that for summer. That's from every summer. Right. From May to September, your sales are going to drop.
People aren't spending their money. People are planning on going on vacation. they're saving their money to go to the pool or whatever.
But every year, May to September, people suddenly start the conspiracies that Etsy's doing something to them. When
this is literally every year.
Every year.
Literally every year, somebody comes up with some different kind of conspiracy because their sales go down. It's possible. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's yeah, no.
Marissa said, just had a customer on Instagram ask me for a pair of underwear freshly worn. A customer or a fan?
I mean, at least they asked for freshly worn and not like worn for a week. I don't.
Ew, you know? It's all gross. It's all gross. Yeah. Unless your stuff is for wedding season. Exactly. All right. So let me finish up the rest of these and then okay. So my favorite question that I get is people saying, is this real solid sterling silver or is this real gold? Yeah, it's real.
For $15. Yeah, it's real.
Yeah. Yeah. It's real gold. Like I put my supplies, you know, I put my materials right in my listings, but yeah, it's real gold for $15, solid gold. Yeah, it's like 2 inches, like, you know, it's a large pendant, but yeah, $15, real gold. That's, I don't know. Jewelry is a really weird niche to get into. People, because there's just so many like materials and types of metal, but it doesn't matter how many times you state like this is costume jewelry. It's costume jewelry. It's not fine metal. There are real Swarovski crystals in it, but it's not like a fine metal. It is costume jewelry. It is to wear for fun, and then you take it off. That's all it is. I don't know. But anyway, so I one time had a bad review for someone who had to pay their customs fee. They were in the UK, and they had to pay, I believe it was a $30 fee to get their package. And for those of you who are newbie sellers, there are some countries that require a tax when products are imported into the country, and that is not your responsibility to pay. It is your customer's responsibility to pay because it is their tax, not yours. So she left me a really, really bad review, and thankfully I was able to dispute that with Etsy and get it removed. But if you ever have someone who leaves a review and, you know, says that they were charged by their actual postal worker at the point when their mail was delivered, you can report that review to Etsy. That one was really bad. That one made me really upset.
We literally just had something similar happen.
Yeah, but
we're not going to get into that.
And then let's see, what was the other? Oh, and then orders to Russia, guys. When you sell products, make sure that you're looking at the types of products that can be imported into Russia and Italy.
Yeah.
Russia and Italy are really problem areas for us.
They're strict about their art.
Yes, art. And Italy is strict about their jewelry. But for our Russian order, we had a girl place an order. And then like months later, she left us a 1-star review and said that it never arrived. I was like, okay, this has been months later and it never arrived. For one, why didn't you tell me before now? So I messaged her right away and I said, hey, you know, I sent you your tracking. I shipped your order, and I looked at her tracking and I said, it says that it's in Russia. You know, the shipping might just be slow. I'll go ahead and refund your order for you though. And I refunded her order and got that review removed. That key arrived back to us 6 months later with like 100 different stickers from
tons of different countries. That thing went all over the world.
There were stamps all over it. There were just writing, and I couldn't even read it.
They couldn't figure out how the hell to get it back to us.
And it was six months later. It
looked like something out of a cartoon when you like see a cartoon character
like
go on vacation all over the world, and it had a sticker for every country. That's what that package looked like.
And it
went to like Spain and England and Russia, and like it went everywhere.
And there was a footprint on it, a big black footprint.
Big black footprint.
I don't even know. I just don't even understand. And I messaged her when it arrived, like 6 months later, and I said, hey, I just wanted to show you that I shipped your order. It just came back to me. But yeah, that was ridiculous.
You still have the package? No, I don't think so.
Actually, it might still be upstairs.
Probably packed up somewhere.
It might be upstairs, but I'm not sure. I have a couple. I have one. Actually, I didn't write down this story. It's best just to avoid Russia and Italy altogether.
We pretty much do. We still ship to Russia, but we rarely have an order there anyway. And when we do, we let the customer know that there's a very high chance it's not going to show up.
Yeah.
And then we're only going to ship it twice. We'll ship it once. If it doesn't show up, we'll ship it again. If after that, we refund the order and then we're done with it.
Italy is usually okay as long as you're very, very clear about the customs forms. Like you put your business cards on the customs form and your gift wrapping. And if you wrapped it with a ribbon, you put that on there. You have to put everything on your customs forms for that.
Yeah, pretty much. And I mean, I don't know. We don't get that many orders to those countries anyway.
Yeah, I don't blacklist any countries in particular, you know.
No, there are a couple. Like we don't ship to Pakistan. They do not show up. They don't. We've shipped like 2 or 3, and then none of them show up.
Well, we ship those from our military base too.
Yeah, I mean that was when we were living on a military base, but even at the same time, it usually shows as other than the return address. I mean the data code is for Marysville. So it doesn't really matter.
We had a customer that we think died.
That was weird.
I feel so bad. She ordered something and told us like the date that she needed it and everything. It was for Christmas like 2 years ago. And I shipped it out and it came back to me like within just a couple of days. And it said that the address was incorrect. I contacted her like 100 times. By email.
Yeah, we found her on Facebook.
I messaged her on Facebook because she was in my key club and everything.
Could not get a hold of her.
She either passed away or she like had to go off the grid. So I kept it. Oh, Angela said, I've never had a problem with Italy and I sell erotic body jewelry. Angela, if you look at the list, there are very specific types of metal that Italy won't take for jewelry. And as long as you're very particular about what you put on your customs form, for example, I say costume jewelry because they don't accept fine metals, you're usually okay. You just have to be very, very specific.
They said, I've been warned about to be wary of customers in China, especially if you're selling artwork.
Because they rip it off?
Here's the thing, though. Most of those Chinese companies, those rip-off companies, are so terrible at doing what they do, they'll never get bigger than you. And they won't sell on Etsy anyway. They'll sell it on, like, eBay. Alibaba, something like that. And they'll never make as much money as you. So I really wouldn't be too worried about it.
The thing that happens, though, is, like, when it's, like a print or actual, like,
no, I understand.
design, it can get hard. So my very last story, and this one was actually recently. I don't know if this girl is one of our alphas or not, but she was overseas. I can't remember where she was from. She ordered one of my keys and it arrived completely broken in half, just snapped in half, like right in half. And in that case, when that happens, and it does happen occasionally because, you know, when packages go overseas, everything's just thrown in to a big, it's just in a big pile. And occasionally, despite me packaging it as good as I possibly can, occasionally something huge just falls on it. And I usually get like one every other year where a product will arrive snapped in half, in which case I just immediately reship like their product. I tell them not to worry about shipping me the broken pieces. I can't do anything with the broken pieces. So I tell them throw the broken pieces away. I cover the shipping to them. I cover the product for them. And I take care of it. And she left me a 5-star review. Like right when that product did arrive fixed, she immediately left me a 5-star review. So it's just in the event that something arrives broken, you just kind of have to take some accountability for it. In fact, we've had customers who have reported things that I know it was their fault. For example,
it happens all the time. Now, I'd say it's a 50-50.
Well, we had a case where we had the particular one I'm talking about is where we had a Dragon Lovers set ship out. And one of the keys within 2 days, it was the bronze key. She said that it was tarnished, which our bronze doesn't tarnish. It just gets kind of green.
It gets, or what is that called?
Oxidation.
Oxidized, yeah.
Yeah. But I know that only happens if they get wet. And it says in my care instructions and on my listings not to wear them while showering or sleeping because the moisture from your skin. Right. The moisture from your skin and our natural body oils can oxidize those keys a little bit. So, but within 2 days, there's no way. That's never happened. I knew that she wasn't being 100% honest, but I always give my customers the benefit of the doubt, and I sent her a new one. And that's one of those things where you have to always ask yourself, what if I'm wrong? Because you're not positive that you're not wrong. There's no way to be positive that you're not wrong. You have to think about this intelligently. What I recommend doing in cases like that, as long as you're not selling like $3,000 products, replace it once. For example, if you have a product where the person says it didn't arrive, but the tracking says that it's in their mailbox or arrived at mailbox, postal carriers make mistakes. Things could get stolen out of a mailbox. What I would do is tell them, okay, I'll send you a new one, ship them a new one. But then if that one doesn't arrive, if the replacement doesn't arrive, I would then let them know, okay, well, due to the number of products that are disappearing out of your mailbox, I request that maybe you file a report with your local post office.
And then once that's concluded, get back with me.
Right. And that usually helps because, there are going to be those customers who just try to get something free.
I mean, if you are shipping out a product or a group of products that costs like more than $100, you should probably be paying for the insurance on the package anyway.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, realistically, if you ship somebody a $3,000 item and it arrives broke and you didn't get the insurance on it, like, don't put that on them because there is a lot of the times they are telling the truth.
Yeah.
And you can't just say, well, that's too expensive, I can't replace that, because that's really bad on you as a business owner. Like,
right.
If there's that much of a risk that you're not able to package something in a way, or there's a liquid or something like that, and that there's a high chance it could get damaged or stolen or something like that, you really need to put the insurance on your packages.
And I don't care how much your products cost. Their positive review
is worth way more.
Yeah, it has a higher dollar value
because their negative review could ruin your business,
right?
Especially in the early days.
Now, one or two negative,
make it very hard. At least.
1 or 2 negative reviews won't kill you, but you can't start accumulating.
It's like one of your first 100 reviews,
right?
It makes a big difference. Until you have a couple thousand reviews, a 4-star review is still detrimental. So a 1-star review could ruin you, or it won't put your business under, but it'll make it a lot harder. Because that's the first thing I look at. If I go to a shop and they've got anything less than 3 stars, it's an automatic no for me.
Yeah.
Even if they've redeemed themselves, like if it's less than like 3 is even kind of pushing it. Yeah. I usually don't buy anything that has less than a 4-star review. I read the reviews because I like honesty. Because if I see something has 10 reviews and it's got 1-star review and everything else is 5, it's probably okay. But
on Etsy, I don't shop from 4-star shops. I have to look at those reviews and make sure that it's not just some obscure case. But if I see that a shop is 4 stars, I dig through every single bad review that they've gotten to see what the problem is.
Why they got that
right.
review.
And if I think that there's any risk to me, I will not buy from that shop. So you have to keep those big pictures in mind. And that's coming from me on a shopper's perspective. If I don't feel trust that product is going to arrive, I mean, I'll pay any price and I'll pay any shipping cost if I want the product badly enough. But if I'm not confident that I'm going to get what I pay for, I won't do it. I'm not going to risk it. So, and your shoppers think the same way.
I had Canada Post leave a vacuum outside my door next to the sidewalk and call it delivered. It was stolen. We're in a high theft area and Walmart didn't want to deal with it. See, here's the thing. Some countries, it is your responsibility. I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain. So they're a big corporation. That's a lot different than buying from like an Etsy shop. I don't like to qualify them as the same type of business. Holy crap, it has taken off.
Yeah,
I don't like to qualify them as the same kind of business. When it comes to something like Walmart, they're not really selling their own product. They're selling somebody else's. That, you know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah.
I think when it comes to big shops, I still think it's kind of your responsibility, especially if you're ordering something that's a couple $100.
Right.
Like, you should probably just make sure that you're there on the day. Check your shipping frequently. If it says out for delivery, maybe have somebody house watch for you if you're not going to be home.
Yeah. On days when we know we have a big delivery, like music equipment, computer equipment.
Yeah. Because sometimes I order things that cost like my graphics card. It right now costs $1,400.
Right.
Like, I'm not just going to have. Like, I'll call my mom and have her come over here and sit if I have to leave the house.
Yeah. So Mommy's a Hot Mess. I love that name because that's me.
She's always a hot mess.
I am always a hot mess. Friday is the only day that I put on makeup and put myself together. While I'm working on the Handmade Alpha Academy, of course, because I don't have time for anything else. It's 16-hour schedules every day. But Mommy's a Hot Mess asked, do you have a video on how to host a giveaway? I want to do my first one and I need to know where to start and how to do it right. Yes, I do. Actually, I don't have a video, but down below, right when you join the Handmade Alpha VIPs, you get my free ebook, which covers exactly how to host a giveaway and how to gain a fanatical following of fans on Facebook by hosting giveaways. So you sign up for the email list. I only email you if I have like a free training or we're doing a Q&A. I send you notifications for these. But right when you sign up to my email list, I immediately send my free ebook, which covers exactly what you're asking, how to host giveaways and build your, ultimately your funnel of followers. So check that out.
Is getting a signature upon delivery a good idea? I don't think so.
I don't
think so, because I mean, you got to consider
ask for it.
You got to consider most of the people buying are adults, and most adults work.
Right.
So
I hate that.
I do too, because then it ends up in this tangle of like, oh, I work until 5 o'clock. My mail gets delivered at 3, and I have nobody to come over to grab my mail for me or to sign for me.
And then I don't get off work until after the post office is closed, and then I have to go to the post office.
You can't walk into a post office and pick up something that required a signature. They still have to deliver it to your house. In most cases, some places they're more lenient, but like even FedEx, I've had a package that was supposed to it was at the FedEx station. It required a signature, and I missed it, and I called, and they said the only person that could schedule a pickup was the person that sent it to me.
Oh.
So it's really dumb. Some places are different than others.
Michael, what I would do is put right in your Etsy listings that if they would like a signature confirmation, that you're happy to do that, but they have to request it. I would never put it on. I would never do that, because I know when sellers do that to me, I get really upset, because sometimes, I mean, I'll be in the shower when the mail guy comes and I can't, like, I hear the doorbell ringing and there's nothing I can do about it. So it's like, it sucks. It really sucks. So I wouldn't do that.
She's not like me. I'd just come running out of the shower.
He would just run out of the shower naked, dripping wet, and answer the door.
I'd stand with the door in front of me and be like, what?
Hello?
Can you sign for this? No, I can't. Just drop it on the porch.
Yep.
I'll get it in a minute.
Sign with just your arm sticking out.
Wet dripping water.
All right.
Soap.
Dina has some questions.
I sell digital designs, and someone took my exact designs for printing and producing and selling them on Alibaba. Everyone told me not to waste my time trying to pursue a Chinese company, so I just let it go. Now I just noticed that the same people are selling my exact products on Amazon under a company called US Sales. What do you think I should do? Contact Amazon.
Yeah, Amazon
for sure.
Yeah, Alibaba. Alibaba is going to be harder. The thing with those Chinese companies,
Alibaba doesn't give a shit. Alibaba doesn't care. Don't even bother. Amazon is different. Amazon cares. Yeah. Believe it or not, Amazon cares.
Yeah. When it comes to those Chinese companies, the copyright and trademark laws over there are...
They don't honor ours. They don't care.
Yeah, they don't care. That's why it's so hard to pursue.
I can only say so much about the way that the Chinese culture stuff works when it comes to these sales, because it starts sounding a little bit racist.
But it's not...
But it's kind of a truth thing.
Right. I mean, we all know that there are just areas of the world. I mean, it's not just there. There are... What are some other countries that are real bad about?
Mostly Asian. Lots of Asian countries.
Right. And it's
lots of Asian countries have really shady business practices.
It's not about the people. It's about the companies over there.
It's the culture. It's the business culture. That's a lot different than like American or I guess Western
business culture,
capitalist culture.
Right.
Like it's a lot different. Like Chinese companies, for instance, will sell you something that they don't even have yet. Like we've had that happen. That happens all the time. And I had to look into it because we would buy something and then it wouldn't show up like a month and a half later. And they said, oh, we're still waiting on it. And I'm like, that's not how it works. You sell something once you have it or once you're close to having it finished, not you don't just sell it and wait 5 months, but that's how they are. They would rather not say anything and just ship it to you when it's convenient than to just not list it.
Right.
Like it's kind of a pride thing. I don't know. I don't personally understand it, but that's just so far what I've read. They would rather,
right?
Yeah, rather just sell it to you anyway.
We've researched a lot into like the business culture and the copyrights over there, and how they're able to get away with basically ripping off designs and like characters and things like that, and
cars and big companies, and that's why you see like the knockoff Starbucks companies that looks exactly like Starbucks, or you have like what was it, Whack Donald's or something like that.
Yeah,
like all those kind of things. Like those are real things. It's just that the Chinese government doesn't care about copyrights. Anyway. What if a custom order doesn't arrive? Should you refund or replace?
If it's a custom
circumstances.
Yeah, if it's a custom order that you can recreate, I would I would do it. If it doesn't arrive, yeah, I would take full accountability. I take full accountability for everything that happens outside of mine and my customers' control.
The first time.
The first time, right?
Because you have to give the benefit of the doubt. After that, the benefit of the doubt doesn't exist.
Right. I always take accountability, but then if for any reason, like for example, I had a customer not that long ago in Italy who ordered some keys and they didn't arrive. So I sent more keys and those didn't arrive. So then I refunded him. So basically that's 2 products and a refund. And I just told him, you unfortunately probably shouldn't order from me again because it doesn't look like any of my products are going to arrive to you. So what I do, it's kind of like discontinuing the possibility of a sale. And from that point on, I knew, okay, now I need to warn my customers from Italy when they make a purchase that this is a possibility. So
a probability.
Right.
A high probability.
What you have to do is once you notice like a trend or something that's happening frequently, like a country where things are popping up missing or things not arriving in mailboxes, that's the time when you need to put it in your FAQ section at the bottom of your shop. And make people aware of what you do in those circumstances. I always recommend making a list of all the worst case scenarios that you can think of and how you would react to them, because it's more than likely that someday you're going to deal with something like that and you're going to have to think about like how you're going to handle it. So find us some questions.
Melissa said, I just got a 1-star review from someone leaving a review on the wrong shop. And I'm assuming Etsy. Refused to remove it. Even though she said shoes and I sell shirts.
Melissa, you need to request a call.
Request a call. Slam on that real quick.
Just Google request a call from Etsy. They'll walk you through the process to do that and talk to a human being and say that this was not my shop. She confused me. But she would have had to have ordered from you too. You can't just leave a review on a shop. So she just got you and another shop confused and she accidentally left it on yours. What I would do is request a call from Etsy and talk to them personally.
So if I ship something to someone and they say that they didn't get it, but I can see that they did, you can't see that they did. That's the problem. If it says delivered, they might have put it in the wrong box.
Right, in the wrong
That
mailbox.
happens all the time.
Our mail goes into our neighbor's box, and there's only 2 mailboxes on our street.
Should I just go ahead and send another one? Yes, without asking them to open a claim and wait 1 to 2 days. I would still request that they open a claim.
Yes.
I think it's always best that they still open a claim. And then after the second time, that's when you ask them to maybe not order anymore until they get their post office situation figured out.
Right. They should open that claim to make their post office aware that one of the mail carriers might not be paying attention, because we all have off days. Mail carriers are human beings. Like, they could have made a mistake.
Some of them are good and some of them are bad. And some of them are just having a crappy day and did something wrong.
Right.
We all screw up. Everybody. Let's see here. We have a mailman that will leave packages at mailboxes at the curb. But we'll bring the envelopes to the house. He's been caught peeking in windows, reported, and he still works for USPS. Yeah, that's what I said. Some people are creepy.
Yeah.
Fine questions. You still think it's worth it to have a Facebook page? Yeah, well, of course. Absolutely.
Here's the thing. Your Facebook page is like the billboard, and your Facebook group is like the private club.
Yep.
So you've got like your big billboard that directs people to your shop. That's what you can, pay for advertising with and do boosted posts and make announcements. And your group is a place where you can actually engage with those customers. The page is a good way to get people into your group because you can advertise your group on your page. So I would definitely have both.
I know this is off topic. I'd like to know what I should look at paying for promoted listings. $5 a day, week, month, personal preference, whatever your budget can afford.
Right. I recommend the thing is, there's not like a sweet spot, because paying more does not necessarily mean that you're going to get more sales. You have to, if you're going to just blow money on anything, blow money on promotions. If you want to do promoted listings, start with what you can afford. And if you see it working, if you see your sales increasing from it, then increase your budget a little bit, but always test in small amounts. Like, start little, and then grow with time. So start with what you can afford, because I do promoted listings and have ever since they made it a feature, and it works great for me. And I know that a couple people had been asking about the new abandoned cart feature. I have been testing that for you guys. Right now, I've paid $1.20 so far. I have had 14 emails send to customers who have abandoned products in their cart. and I have made one $32 sale from it. So I've paid $1.20 and I've made one $32 sale. So it's not really enough for me to be able to say, because it's only been 2 weeks. It's not enough for me.
You still made a $30 profit, so it's not like it's that big of a deal. But then again, there's going to be hot and cold spots with that.
Right. So I'll have further like reports for you in a few months. Yeah.
I had a lady contact me after 4 years and said, I've had one of your portraits for a while now, but you're much better now. Can I send mine back in exchange for an upgraded one?
Absolutely freaking not.
No, I wouldn't even respond to that.
Oh, no.
Honestly, that's a toxic customer that you don't need. I would have just deleted the message and never block them if you can.
Dude, have you guys seen my keys when I first started out? Oh, my keys were awful. They were terrible. And my customers still wear them. And they would probably be insulted to think that I think that they're bad now. But looking back, it's like I can see my growth. So
Domestic Platypus said Amazon will require a copyright or a trademark a lot of the time. However, worth reporting them. Multiple reports end up getting them kicked, even if Amazon isn't taking action on your IP.
Yeah.
So that's not necessarily true. That depends on what you are selling. If you're selling something that's kind of already a design, but you put it on something, that's one thing. But if you're selling completely original art and you can prove that you were selling it, so like take a screenshot that says listed on X date, and the shop didn't list their thing until 2 or 3 years later because, like, you know, it's one of your best sellers or whatever. That's distinct proof that you have it. And in the at least in the United States, you have intellectual property rights, which overrides copyright anyway. So if you just send that proof to Amazon, they have no choice but to take it down, because then you could do legal action against Amazon. It's intellectual property rights, especially when it comes to an original drawing.
But we are not legal professionals, so always talk to maybe like an attorney.
Mm-hmm. But I know what intellectual property rights are.
Because he's a musician.
Yeah, and I just went through some crap with that, believe it or not. Blah, 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 blah,
Christina.
blah. Where do you see that? Right here?
Yeah.
Would it be okay to start and stay shop and not give the option for internet or Etsy shop and not give the option for international shipping at all?
No, don't do that. Don't do that.
You're limiting yourself.
I think that all U.S. sellers should. There are like 2 countries that are a little bit picky. And in my 6 years of selling, I've had like, I think 4 orders go missing.
Results may vary.
Yeah, results.
Some products are going to be.
Yeah, you're cutting out, like, here's the thing. Do you want to sell to this itty bitty little like area of the world, or do you want to sell to the whole world? Like, that's, if I were to cut out my international sales, I would be missing out probably on at least $100,000. Like, since, yeah, I mean, don't do that. I would just make sure that you're acknowledging that Italy, maybe look at banned items in Italy, or banned items to send to Italy, and banned items to ship to Russia. And then if those 2 areas of the world aren't good for you, then maybe just don't ship to them. But I wouldn't block out everyone, because like the UK, I've never had issues shipping to the UK. Canada, Australia, I have never had issues. I ship there all the time. So
we'll cut in about 15 minutes. We'll try to slam through these questions. Do you think it's a good idea to link your business Instagram to your business Facebook page because it's basically the same content each time you post, or should they be completely separate?
Aaron, it kind of varies. What I do is I ask myself if the photos that I'm posting on Instagram or on Facebook would be okay on Instagram, because it goes like 2 ways. Pictures that you post on Instagram are usually okay to post on Facebook. But if you're actually looking at the types of photos and marketing ads that perform well, pictures that perform well on Instagram are like in the moment shots. There's not a bunch of text on the picture. There's not like a bunch of crazy editing or anything. It's just like an in the moment. I had my camera phone and I shot a picture image. Those are what do really well. The photos that have a bunch of text and, photos like that you edited a lot, those do really good on Facebook, but they don't do well on Instagram. So some photos you can flip flop and use on both areas. But some photos that I post on Facebook, I don't post on Instagram. So I would definitely post photos that you're posting on Instagram to your Facebook, because Facebook is kind of like an equal opportunity employer. They all types of content have the potential to do well on Facebook, but Instagram is a little bit different. So
how exact does a design have to be reported to Etsy? What kind of proof would I need? Technically, it would have to be 100% exact.
Yeah.
Unless you have a copyright, because then you can kind of wiggle some room there, but technically it would have to be 100% the same.
Right. Rosabella, my suggestion would be to hop on Facebook.
Unless you draw stuff. If you draw stuff and they like take it and put it on a cup, that's still your design on a cup. So
right.
That's different.
Rosabella, my suggestion.
She also said there are 2 sellers on Etsy whose designs are nearly exact to mine. Only one thing was changed, but did not substantially change the design.
My suggestion would be to join the Facebook group Friends of Indie Law. Could someone type Friends of Indie Law down into the comments for me? Don't link the group because it won't link, but just type Friends of Indie Law down into the comments and join that group. That's where you want to go for all of your like copyright questions. And they're super duper friendly over there and they will help you out because I believe the admin of that group is a lawyer. So.
Oh, and she does stuff with beads. So that's going to be hard to go with because probably the stuff that you're using anybody can get.
Yeah.
So it could be entirely coincidental.
Right.
Let's see here. How do you make your Facebook link your business page instead of your personal profile?
How do you make your
what?
How do you make your Facebook link your business page instead of your personal? You mean your Instagram? How do you make your Instagram link to your business page instead of your personal profile? Go ahead and I would resubmit that question down below just in case we misunderstood because actually offhand, I'm not sure. I would have to, it's one of those things that I set up looking at it, but I would have to also be looking at it. So that might be a question that you would need to ask Google because I don't remember offhand exactly like the steps that you need to take without, looking at my screen.
Have you tried a business Instagram account? I've heard good and bad things about it. I've tried to promote on Facebook page and I didn't see any good from it.
There are good and bads. My current Art by Star Lamore business page is not a business page. It's a personal profile. I never switched it to a business account because I wanted to test and I just haven't had the time to I wanted to do like a side-by-side comparison of the two. I just haven't had time to do that because what I'm going to do is do like a 3 to 4 month period on my normal, how it is now, as a personal profile. And then I'm going to switch it to business and then track how it does for the same amount of time and see if there's like any difference at all. But I will update you once I have more time after Handmade Alpha Academy launches to do that.
Domestic platypus abandoned cart system is pretty ridiculous. Etsy should do this automatically within reason. Added sales will benefit them as well. I agree with that.
That is
there's all the time where I'm sitting on a website and I have like a cart full of crap and I'm like, you know what? I'll wait until my next paycheck or I'll wait until X date to order this stuff. And then they just like within a day, they send me an email. Hey, did you forget your cart? Like everybody already does that. And he says at no cost to sellers. Yeah. I fully agree with it. I think it's stupid.
I don't like that they're charging sellers, but
I think it's kind of dirty, but it is what it is. Cynthia, can I do international on my jewelry and small items, but do USA only on large items? I mean, technically, yeah. I don't think there's any way to do it within Etsy.
I'm actually not sure.
I think the best thing that you could do, because looking through the options, I don't ever remember seeing something for that. I would just mark in the descriptions of the large items, does not ship internationally, and then put what you'll do if they order it. Like if it's to like the UK or like Germany or something, say that you'll refund the order and contact them immediately. That's probably the only way you're going to be able to get away with that.
Right. Maybe just say
otherwise, but I mean, the thing is that if you are shipping internationally and you're having the shipping done automatically by Etsy, like those people shipping internationally are going to pay the cost of having it shipped internationally. So like they're already going to be paying like whatever exorbitant price to have the product shipped to them in the first place. Right, so it really shouldn't matter if you're shipping internationally or not.
If they want it badly enough, then they'll pay whatever the price is. So
unless you're covering the shipping in the cost of the item, which at that point,
I'm actually
kind of on you.
I'm not sure if someone knows the answer to that. Type it in the comments, but I don't know if you can specify some products like to ship internationally and some not to. I just don't know offhand because I've never done it.
We probably won't get to all the questions because you guys are slamming today.
All right.
Let's see here. This may be off topic, but have you ever hired sponsors or ambassadors? I mean,
I've had brand reps. My favorite, if you look her up on Facebook, her name is Nikki Nevermore, and she Nikki Nevermore. She is a Gothic alternative model, and she is just the sweetest freaking thing in the whole wide world.
She's really nice for us.
I love her to death. She is so sweet. But what I do is I send her products for free, and she sends me back a free photo shoot because she always has photo shoots available. And she just sends me the photo shoot of her wearing the product that I sent her. And I don't know if she charges for that service otherwise, but I haven't personally hired anyone. If you do decide to, make sure that you create a contract. Okay. That way, you know what rights you're entitled to. And they know what rights they're entitled to when it comes to the use of your products and how they promote it.
Is there a way to get the free ebook again? Yes, send us an email and I'll send it to you.
Yeah, just reply to any of the emails sent by me, including the one sent today. We respond to all of those emails. If you guys like reply back to anything that we send to you, if you need like the ebook resent, just reply to any of those emails and we can send that out to you.
Do I need to copyright the business name that I've chosen for my Etsy shop before I launch it? I've checked and it's available for Etsy in California.
No, you can if you want to. It's a good way to protect it, but you don't.
It is, and you're also going to fall under those laws I was talking about earlier, the individual property laws.
Right, copyrights are expensive.
They are, and they're not entirely necessary.
Right.
If you can prove your business was around before a copyright was filed, you can still fight somebody else getting a copyright.
Like
it's better to do it before that happens, especially if you have a name you think somebody's going to take. But.
Right, like no one's going to take art by Starla Moore from me, but Renee Christine, for example, her business was called Rich Mom University before it was Handmade Titan University, and someone ripped her name off. So she and like some really scammy company stole Rich Mom University name from her, and she changed it to Handmade Titan University and immediately
copyrighted.
Yeah, got a trademark on the name.
Suggestion on slow sales. So I have a kind of a broad answer for this one. I know, not a bad problem raising prices almost daily, and it seems like to be having an opposite effect. Don't want to go on vacation mode, need a solid week of low sales. So if you're having bad sales, we get this kind of question like every single time we do a live stream.
Right, every day.
It's impossible to answer. It's impossible to answer from here. You're saying, prices, it might not be your prices. It might be your pictures. It might be your descriptions. It might be your customer service contact. It might be past reviews. There are hundreds of variables that fall into why you might not be getting sales or you're getting very low volumes of sales. Also keep into consideration, like we said earlier, it's summer. This is the slowest time of year for most people, except for like a couple of distinct things. Like
May to September.
Like if you sell bath and body products, it's probably not going to drop your sales that much. But for us, people that sell jewelry, or if you sell scarves, things like that, like obviously your sales are going to dip. So just don't be too bothered by that. But if you think it's something else, we personally can't tell you over a live stream like this.
But Maria, what you can do is join the Handmade Alpha Facebook community down below if you're not already a member, and talk to some of our Handmade Alphas, because that's a really good source of information, because our members can talk to you and help you and work with you about problems that you might have in your shop.
Not low sales, too many. Did I misread your?
Don't.
What?
I need a solid week of
2 slow sales, not 4 slow sales. So their sales are too crazy. What are you complaining about? Have a friend come over and help you. Pay him $10. Buy him Subway.
Oh darn, Maria! Ooh, too many sales. Yeah.
Don't complain about that. That's a good thing. I know it can suck though, but that's when she talks about scalability.
Yeah.
Scalability. If you're having trouble, then you might need to work on your scalability a little bit.
Increasing your prices, if that's not working, if increasing your prices isn't working, you need to increase them more and increase your processing times, if at all.
Okay, you're banned. Hide user on this channel. Hans.
Bye, Hans.
Hans, you friggin' idiot.
I don't even know.
I don't even care who you were.
All right. Were there any more questions? Did anyone
Trump equals Jesus?
Did anyone see that guy? Oh man.
I know. Ooh. we don't really do our political opinions on here, but
nope.
We are not Trump supporters.
We are.
Get out of here with that.
Yeah.
All right. Do you add sales tax to your products? No, because the states that it's mandatory for, it already comes out automatically, or should be automatically coming out by Etsy. And it's such a low percentage that we just pay it out of pocket.
Or do you mean like our actual tax, like around tax time? Like tax time, like having like our
No, I think they're saying, do we add state sales tax? No, we don't. We don't add state sales tax. We pay it out of pocket. Yeah,
because I mean, there's going to be country or
I hate state sales tax. Personally, I disagree with it, and I don't want to get. I don't want to get into that.
Triggered.
Which he spelled Trump.
Anyway,
Trump. Can't stump the Trump.
Do I need an E? Oh, you can't copyrighted name, you can trademark it. Yeah, I said trademark copyright. Like my brain was kind of.
Do I need an EIN number or a license if I've only had like 2 sales a month? So you don't need an EIN. You're basically just going to be claiming yourself as a sole proprietor. So your social security number will take its place.
Yes.
If you're in the United States.
Yes.
Not to the blah, blah, Trump Jesus. Why? I plan on having my little sister help me if I get too many sales. Good idea. Free child labor. Just moans about weird customers, random crap. Is there any way to contact Facebook? Good luck. I'm trying to make slight name change to my Facebook page. I did the request, said 3 days, and it's been a month. So if you have too many people in your group, you can't change your name.
Your Facebook page. If too many people have, well, that's how it used to be. I'm actually not sure. That's why I'm
pretty sure it's still that way.
That's why I'm stuck with the name Art by Starla Moore, because I had over 200 Facebook likes, and way back when that was a big deal to me. Now I have 25,000. So
of course you would pay her, Amy. You would just pay her less because she's a child. That's how child labor works.
don't take
when do
advice.
When do you get to the point where you need a tax ID number? I don't think technically you ever do. I just think that once you're to a point where you need one, you probably should have one for your safety, as like registering yourself as a company, actually registering yourself as a business instead of just being a sole proprietor.
Yeah.
I wish too many sales was my problem. Don't we all?
If you guys have any like legal questions, we do have an accountant in our group, Michelle Harris. She answered a lot of questions during our Q&A 2 weeks ago.
Labor.
She answered a lot of questions during our Q&A 2 weeks ago, and she's in our Facebook group kind of helping out. So if you guys do have an accounting question, you can also hire her as an online accountant. She does have a website where you guys, I'm not an affiliate or anything, but she is in our group. She does offer her services if you want to hire her to be your personal accountant, but she will answer quick questions if you tag her in the group. Her name is Michelle Harris.
Would you recommend any group rules for your VIP group? No advertising.
Yeah, no advertising your personal products, but let people, you know what I think? I think that when people are in your group, if they post in your group and they say, hey, I need to vent about the way that my mom talked to me a few days, and it's totally unrelated to your products, but they just are looking for anyone who will listen to them, which has happened so many times, and it's totally unrelated to my products. That is such a great opportunity to help them, to talk to them, and to show that you care about your customers. We're
It's
not
a joke. Shut up. I'm not showing your message.
We're not literally supporting child labor. We're parents.
Yeah,
sarcasm.
Don't be stupid.
We're sarcasm people.
I don't like stupid people, and you know that.
Sarcasm.
Anyway, after friend, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Can you make a video on how to change your fake Facebook page to a business page? Just make a new page.
You can't change your personal account to a business page. That's not.
You have to make a new page.
Yeah, you can't have your personal account be a business page either. Facebook doesn't allow that. You have to just start a business page. It's not like
that's another thing they asked, or should I just make a new one that's an actual business page? That's all you can do.
It's not like Instagram where you can just turn it into a business account. You have to create like a new page. So what do we
don't care.
Will you please just get rid of that person?
All right. I don't care. I'm thubbed. I don't care. Let's see here. I'm here to help people. If you're offended by a joke, then I don't want you here anyway. Let's see here.
We are parents. We are parents. And I was
and you damn well better be sure that I make her do work around the house.
Yeah, she does chores. Come on. You don't have your kids doing chores.
Domestic Platypus said, believe technically once you're employing people, if you have a business registered as something other than sole proprietor.
Yes.
Yes, because
LLC.
You have to be at least an LLC. I don't. It gets weird with that because I don't think technically you have to. But the thing is that means somebody else's life is your liability, like your personal liability, and not your business liability. So if they get
to hire customers, you do have to have an LLC.
I don't think so. There's ways you can get around that. It's called contracting.
Oh, contract. Well, yeah, that's different.
But that if they get hurt while they're technically supposed to be working for you, it's your liability and all that kind of stuff. It gets weird. Just register yourself as a business.
Yeah, we're going to be
registered. We're not legal professionals, and that stuff gets crazy because it changes from state to state and from country to country. So that stuff gets weird real fast. But I believe that you're right. If unless you're contracting people, you have to be registered as something other than a sole proprietor.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's mandated. I don't think you technically have to. It's just one of those things where you're really, really, really supposed to.
If you have any questions about that, the website justanswer.com, you can get questions answered like from doctors, lawyers. You pay a few dollars, you ask them a quick question, they give you an answer. So check out that site if you have like a quick question and you don't want to pay a bunch of money to actually talk to like an attorney or an accountant.
Let's see here. Most states you can pay someone up to $600 a year without worrying about taxes. Yes, it's different from state to state too as far as state taxes, but I believe $600 a year is before you have to fill out a W-9. Before you have to fill out a W-9 and report it to the IRS. You still should. You still definitely should because it's still taxable income. You're just not legally required to until $600, but they still technically have to pay taxes on that, and so do you as someone who's paying somebody. Like if you give your kid $10, technically that's a taxable transaction. Obviously, nobody goes through with that, but every transaction made between people is taxable in the United States, if you didn't know that.
Cynthia,
what? They couldn't tell it was a joke? Child labor. I know. You have to, 1099. Yeah, 1099 MISC.
Yeah. Hey,
I will field questions for free. No need to pay.
Yeah, if you guys, I mean, for those of you who are like willing to answer questions and stuff about this, you're more than
all about it. We're not legal professionals. I can only go by personal experience.
Right. You guys can join the Handmade Alpha Facebook community and, start your own thread. Say, hey, I'm an accountant, or hey, I'm this, like, hey, I'm that, and I'm willing to answer questions, as long as you're not like, the only time that we get uppity about that is when there are like competitive coaches who come in our group and they say, hey, Starla is a big fat liar about everything and you should do everything my way. And it's not
me IRL, bro.
It's not that they're not necessarily right, but here's the thing, every coach does something different and every coach tells you something different. And that's like where people get really confused, where they're like, well, there's so many coaches and they all tell me something different. Exactly. Because
everybody has a different method of doing things.
Right. So you have to find the coach that clicks with you, that you like the most. If you can't stand my voice, I'm not the coach for you. You have to find the coach that clicks with you and you follow them to a T. That's what I did. I followed Renee Christine until I was able to find my point of sustainability. And then she encouraged me to become a coach. And now I have like my own sect of the world where I'm teaching Etsy and Etsy psychology. So you have to find the coach for you. Every coach teaches differently, and there are a million ways to do things. All
right. Last question.
Yeah.
Rant. It's time to get off here. Last question. Do you have pricing on your Handmade Alpha Academy?
Yes, the Handmade Alpha Academy will be priced. Oh my God, I love your voice. Thank you, Dia. I'm very self-conscious about it. Handmade Alpha Academy will be priced directly alongside Handmade Titan University. So if you know how much Handmade Titan University is,
be about that much.
it will be about that much, but you will also get a similar discount. So Handmade Titan University is kind of, we're pricing alongside them so that our courses aren't seen as like competitive, because they're not. They actually go together, but you don't have to have one to have the other. So basically, if you take mine, you don't have to take HTU, but if you decide to take HTU, they'll still go well together. But for those of you who aren't aware of, oh, you guys are awesome. Don't make me blush. For all of you who are aware of HTU's pricing and the discount given to besties, hint, hint, wink, wink, make sure that you're on my email list, because we'll be offering a very similar discount, but only to our VIPs. But we will have a lot more information about that later on. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. Don't forget, Instagram, we just started a new series called 31 Reasons to Dominate Etsy, where you guys tag hashtag 31 Reasons to Dominate Etsy, the number 31 Reasons to Dominate Etsy. And
don't forget to give us a thumbs up and all that fancy stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Hashtag 30.
Hit that bell icon like every other YouTuber. Hit that bell icon.
Hashtag 31 Reasons to Dominate Etsy. I will look at your stories, whether it be for your kids, whether it be to stick it to the man. Somebody gave us a thumbs up. Whether. But when you use that hashtag, I will look at your stories. And my favorite ones, the ones that I feel are the most inspiring, I'll be creating a cool like photographic with your reason on it and sharing it, guys. It
went up from 38 to 52 thumbs up. In like the past 30 seconds.
And 5 thumbs down. Someone is
that hasn't moved. Oh, it will now because I said something.
Yeah, if we point out thumbs up or thumbs downs, like we get more. Like they all shoot up and down. fight all the thumbs down. Give us all the thumbs ups. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for hanging out. Keep in mind, this is like our second unpaid job. We do this for you guys. There are a million ways that we could be spending our Friday. We could be gardening. We could be going out to eat, but there's nowhere that we would rather be. Well, he's always hungry. So
I'm a hungry boy.
He's a hungry boy, but there's nowhere that we would rather hang out than with you guys. So thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next Friday. Bye. Bye.